Hi! On today's show, we talk about how the right is still angry about the Odyssey, Elon Musk living in denial, Olive Garden, voter ID, and how Trump is probably about to escalate the war again. Still, again, continuously.
Hello, and welcome to Even More News, the show where we eat the news. And we do impressions of Elon Musk, which I love me, Katy stole. Welcome.
Thank you, Katy, for that beautiful, wonderful welcome. We are the News Eaters. Give us the news and we will eat it up and shit it out. I'm Cody Johnston, and Jonathan is also here.
I think I'm on the wrong show.
No, this is it.
Am I in the right place? This is it? Yeah.
This is the one. Folks at home, or wherever you are in your day-to-day life listening to this podcast, Katy's out today, and she'll be back next time.
I'll just start talking about stuff.
Yeah, we should talk about the news, I guess, but I think the important stuff in the news, the really good, the juicy stuff, the real stories are who's mad at a movie and why, and were they wrong, and are they upset that they were wrong, and maybe lashing out about how wrong they were by altering their behavior and becoming even worse.
We're in like month 4 of I'm mad at this movie for some reason watch, and I feel like that's a good way to get us into all of the actual horrible news that's happening, is to talk about the right-wing freak out over the Odyssey.
We'll have a little fun first and then get normal.
So this is just like a straight up loss for them because the Odyssey had a huge opening weekend. People didn't buy into their complaints that there are people of color in this movie and a trans man in this movie, I think, are the main complaints.
They're trying to make it other things, right? It's like
they want to make it all kinds of stuff.
They realized that they can't just say that. So it feels like they were trying to find other reasons to be mad at it after the fact.
I feel like the moment the casting came out and they're like, oh, Helen of Troy, or when they thought that Elliot Page was going to be Achilles or whatever, they're like, we have to hate the movie, and we'll come up with other stuff if we have to. Maybe it's a lack of respect for Western civilization or a culture or something. Maybe it's a historical thing. I don't know, but we're mad because also the Oscar rules they've just found out about, and they think that he's like changing how he casts his movies so he can win Oscars, even though he didn't do that when he won all the Oscars from that other movie that he just did.
When he won the Oscars for the movie with like 50 white guys
with all the white guys in it, with all of our most famous white guys got together and made Oppenheimer.
I don't know what's in Nolan's heart. I know that he's a fairly serious man who doesn't care and isn't very online. So like he makes Dunkirk. Who does he cast? A bunch of like white dudes, because he's like, that's, you know, what that was. It was historically accurate. Like he doesn't like cast for diversity necessarily. He just casts movies to cast movies. And then he made the Odyssey and he's like, well, this can be everybody. I might as well put some of the hottest like stars in here. He doesn't care. He said himself, he was like, I dealt with Batman fans for 10 years. Like, he doesn't care.
Right, he's not casting, like, the cover of a college recruitment pamphlet. You know, he's just, no, it's like a movie, and, like, I know all these really talented actors and actresses out there, so I might as well.
It's like watching them fight the ocean, where you're like, it doesn't even know you're there.
That's the thing that I wanted to highlight, John, when you were talking about this. Like, yeah, the people didn't buy into, like, all the things that were being said about this movie, and I think partly, yes, they didn't buy into it. They're like, what? But that's, yeah, it's a beautiful actress, of course, Helen of Troy. What are you talking about? But also, I think most people didn't see it and didn't know it was a problem. Like, this was a problem created by Elon Musk and accounts with, like, Roman statue avatars. And, you know, like, it's a fake problem that was made popular on the fake website where fake things are made popular.
People have to be informed of what the supposed controversy is before then making a determination. Like, there's this YouGov poll that Parker Malloy posted about. The question is it appropriate or inappropriate for Black actor Lupita Nyong'o to play Helen of Troy? And it has to spell it out, like, because if they just put, is it appropriate or inappropriate for Lupita Nyong'o to play Helen of Troy, they'd be like, why would it be, right? They have to spell out in the question, because she's
Here
Black.
Here is the issue with the thing that they are claiming that is the problem. Yeah.
But then 30% of Americans still said inappropriate because they're just like, well, the question told me what side I'm supposed to be on, right? The racist side.
The implication is there. I know my people, so...
But it's also, for everyone watching a movie who goes to a movie to watch a movie and hears about a movie and like, oh, this movie's supposed to be like really grand and visually and just genuinely entertaining and fast paced for a 3-hour movie and all this stuff. Who cares?
Talented director, really successful.
Like it's also a mostly male centric story about a guy doing war stuff, and the lead female actress in the movie is just like, what, I wish my husband would come home.
Back, yeah.
And she does more stuff. Like Anne Hathaway does plenty of stuff, but still, like, you could attack this movie for like, oh, Christopher Nolan really doesn't know how to portray women or dig into women's motivations and
That's
stuff like that.
That's a problem he's had with movies.
Right. But like,
that's not their problem with it.
But they have to they've already established, no, this is the woke DEI movie. And so they had to go see it. Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh went to go see it. Ben Shapiro was like, actually, it's really good, and we should like take this.
Differing minds over there.
The whole video.
Diversity of thought. Oh, did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, it's really boring, and this isn't even necessarily Ben Shapiro's fault. He's not like, I have a job where I have to talk about movies, but I talk about it with someone else, and we have conversations, and that's our job. Ben Shapiro is not. He's not. It's just the most superficial observations about how he liked it. So it's just a guy for like 20 minutes being like, yeah, that was really exciting and I liked it. And he has to go through all the logic of like why it's fine to have a diverse cast, and he like really breaks it down for himself. And then Elliot Page, he can't deal with. And it's very funny because it's all of his reasoning is just very emotional and very like, again, he's like creating all this lore and explanations of why these people get cast in it. And it's like the ultimate reason is who cares? It's a fictional story.
Also, he worked with Elliot in Inception and wanted to work with them again.
Also, without spoiling too much of the movie, Elliot Page is playing like a scrawny dude who they kind of throw to the wolves. Whether or not Nolan worked with him before, like in a vacuum, it just works. It works the way the rest of the casting works. And that's the thing is, like, watching Shapiro talk about it, he does the explanations for everybody else. And then with Elliot Page, he's like, I just don't get it. And it's like, it makes just as much sense as anything else you've explained.
That's very telling because he can try to get into context. He can try to explain scenes. He's like not, he's like pretty like media illiterate, but not completely.
Right. It's not his job.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be, it's become culture war reasons. He has to do it, but he shouldn't be analyzing films and videos. It's not his thing.
If he's doing that, he should know why Elliot Page works in that movie. He should know. Although it is, I think, very telling that he called him Elliot.
While saying a pebble in the shoe, yeah, but...
I didn't watch Matt Walsh's video, but I assume he did not do that. I assume he had a lot of stronger opposite opinions.
I mean, I didn't watch Matt Walsh's video. I just read his tweets where he says it's just as woke as you fear, if not more so. And then he doesn't like the non-linear storytelling gimmick, which is not just a Christopher Nolan hallmark, but the Odyssey hallmark, the poem.
All right. It's fine.
He's just like the dumbest guy who has to. He won't concede that this is.
It's so funny. There are these two Marvel guys. You've probably seen the video being passed around talking about the Odyssey and how like they're worried that like it won't be complex enough because Christopher Nolan does a lot of like time stuff with all of his movies, and the guy's like, it's the Odyssey. What are you talking about? Like, he doesn't only do time travel, whatever, but also like the Odyssey is actually the perfect movie like story for him, the filmmaker, to tell because he does that kind of stuff anyway.
It's also not that much in the movie. It's pretty linear.
It's not complicated. It's an old.
It's the flashbacks catch up to like the moment in the third, like before the third act, and
which is like a lot of movies.
Like
it's
a
not
film,
like
exactly.
Memento
It's
or
like a
Pulp
fucking-
Fiction where it takes a minute to figure out where everything is. It's like it's very clear.
Yeah, you're not watching
throughout.
it going, is Tom Holland young?
Right.
And it's
Is this the
interesting when a filmmaker is just interested in a thing like that. Like Christopher Nolan very much likes people experiencing time differently. It's Inception, it's Interstellar.
and trying to get home.
Right, trying to get home, but then it's like Odysseus in the story is like kind of stuck in this limbo world. He doesn't know how long he's been there, and it's almost like he's 4 layers deep in a dream trying to like get out of it. It's like not that deep, and I'm not saying it's like dumb. I think it's interesting to watch a person who's really interested in a thing explore a thing.
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
Be like,
It's very funny because when I went to see the movie, I was actually scared. I was like, oh, is this going to be like really dull? Is it
Yeah, I
going to
know.
be just like people talking like Shakespeare and crap? And like, I'm not going to understand. And no, the audience reaction, my reaction, it was like a Marvel movie where people laughed where you're supposed to laugh. They cheered where you're supposed to cheer. It was a very a very satisfying story. It's a crowd pleaser. It's not pretentious. And so it's all to say that these guys, like, I think Ben Shapiro, to his credit, maybe he legitimately liked the movie too, but he knew, like, yeah, listen, you got to be part of society, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this thing doesn't even, like, Rotten Tomatoes, there isn't even a low audience score. There's not enough people who care about the wokeness of this, because it is, even in Shapiro's review, he falls short of calling it out as racism, being like, he points out very correctly, he's like, well, Matt Damon's not Greek. No one's Greek. And he was like, if people have no problem with Matt Damon, but have problems with Lupita Nyong'o, well, that's just, silly. He doesn't
Silly, he
say
doesn't-
it,
he can't
and he
say it.
moves
He's
on. And you're
never-
like, it's
yeah.
racist, Ben. It's
Yeah,
racist.
just say it's racist. Just say it's
And
racist.
that's what it is, right? Is like, and he has to distinguish himself from the racist to be like, no, I'm just transphobic, but it's all in the same bucket, and he can't contend with that. But he knows that, like, it's a really fringe. Like, I was looking at Elon's tweets, and I'm not on Twitter much, and my goodness, what a fucking
It's so out of
garbage heap that
touch.
place is.
Yeah.
So
it's
that-
And
really
all
bad.
the
Well,
replies were
and-
people being like, yeah, next get rid of that black little mermaid. And it's like, it's just racist. They're just racist people.
Because
Yeah,
also
it's-
on the
It's not complicated.
It's not complicated. Like what you were saying about like the audience reaction in the theater. That is what he intended to do. He knows, oh, this epic poem. This is like for the masses. I'm trying to make the language accessible. I'm trying to make everybody like represented in it. I'm trying to make the movie for everybody, which is what he did, except for this one man, this one trillionaire
Who happens
can't
to be
fuck-
the
who
loudest racist.
and he is really digging in, and I do think it's worth. I'm sure we've all seen it, but I want to watch just a little bit of the slop that he wants it to. Okay, so this account, Heavy Pulp on Twitter, wrote dialogue scene from Homer's Odyssey built on Grok Imagine. And then Elon quote tweets it and says, before this year ends, Grok Imagine will make a full-length movie of the Odyssey that is historically accurate and true to the art of Homer.
What a threat.
Which is, yeah, and also, why would it take that long? Like, I thought you just prompted. I guess you
just
need
say-
a lot
You
of
can
tokens
tell-
to do
You need
it.
a lot
you
of
can-
compute. You need more
Yeah,
compute.
more compute.
One of the things I've noticed with this AI stuff, even when it's getting photoreal, the editing is always off because they're clearly taking clips of what they're given, and they're kind of like, I don't
It
know how these
deteriorates
are
over
made. It just-
time, so they have to like. Cut
yeah, it feels
early,
like
yeah.
they have to be cut together, and sometimes they feel really disjointed, where it's like, oh, they didn't really have a shot of that,
Right, it's like a bunch of different prompts that you're synthesizing together, and like that's no way to make maybe
Yeah.
a way to make a Marvel movie, but like it's not.
Very, like, parts of this thing look like from the 70s, and others it's just like, make sure the women are the hottest fake women you've got. Like,
Yeah,
make sure
look
they're hot
Greek.
fake women.
No, they
No.
don't.
It's just honkies.
It's whatever Grok's been programmed to think is attractive. It's like been sifted through. Like watching this trailer, it's like The Princess Bride and Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's like the most generic version of the thing you can think of.
It looks like the 70s or 60s version too. It's got that like in the acting is that kind of stiffness where it's not really like, I don't know. It's just kind of crap.
Like, it stole this from Inception, probably, this
Yes.
image.
Yeah, no,
Like,
yeah.
it's just stealing stuff from the guy they hate.
Dude, you're a trillionaire. Pay someone to make a movie. Like, it's like you're the richest guy on the planet. You hate that like the biggest movie of the summer is like woke or whatever. And your solution is to make dog shit from like your like servile computer that's making like your AI girlfriend for you. Hire a person, pay people to make a movie that you like. Like, the fact that his instinct was to do like a Grok ad instead of like, wow, art is really a problem these days. I should pay a human soul to make some art for me. He's such an empty, stupid fucking.
Some guy wrote, I want Elon Musk to give Mel Gibson $100 million to film an Odyssey adaptation with painstakingly historically accurate ships, armor, weapons, and casting. No one was complaining about the spears, whatever. With all dialogue taken straight from the original poem and delivered in Homeric Greek. And
Yes!
Elon replies, I'm down. And like, if you gave Mel Gibson $100 million to make an Odyssey movie, it probably wouldn't be that, because as much of a shitty guy as Mel Gibson is, he's a filmmaker who has a vision and does stuff in the way he wants to do.
You can't just like give him money and be like, make my piece of shit that I want you to do.
Yeah, make this piece of garbage that's just it's just white. I don't really care about anything else. This guy says accurate armor. Well, I don't really give a shit. How am I? How would we know what accurate armor is for?
Also, I mean,
they
know, but the version that I've seen passed around mostly is very silly looking, and I would just posit that like, well, they're making a movie. They want it to be cinematic, and we have our cultural touchstones. If you put them all in this stupid fucking armor, it's going to be awkward, and you're gonna think it's a silly movie. Actually, you're not gonna like if it's only historically accurate. You're there to like watch a story unfold. And sometimes certain choices can be in conflict with the enjoyment of the story.
Yeah.
And the idea, like, it needs to be historically accurate. It needs to be this. Watch a documentary. Go read about it. You're watching a movie. You need to be able to, like, let some things go in order to fully enjoy it.
There's no, like, talking with someone who, after you see a movie and they've read the book, you're like, oh, I like this and this and this. And the other person said, well, in the book, this happens and it didn't happen in the movie. And you're like, is that a criticism? Is that like, some people are just like really tied to beat by beat. That's what a movie needs to be. And I just don't agree with that. I think filmmakers should cut and add, and who gives a shit what's in the like.
Humans are allowed to adapt art and absorb it and reinterpret it and express all kinds of things.
I took a class in college where we like read books and watched movies and stuff. So I read the book The Godfather, and there's a bunch of stuff in that book that I'm glad they cut for the movie.
I think it's kind of evil, actually, to see what's going on and be like, you know what, in response to a movie I didn't like, I'm going to get my soulless robot to do it. Like, instead of paying a person, like pay a human and a human soul, an ensouled person to make a movie for you. But he offered Mel Gibson money, or he's like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever. He doesn't really mean it. But just to close that Mel Gibson thing out, I also think it's funny to offer 100, like, the Odyssey's been made. It's been made in 2026, and it's made almost more than $300 million at this point. Why would Mel Gibson want to make the Odyssey after Christopher Nolan just made the Odyssey? It's not like like one of the like transponder movies or whatever, or like when they would make The Volcano, like, you know, like why would Mel Gibson want to make the alternative to
Dante's Peak, Volcano, Bugs Like Ants, this Odyssey movie?
But he's like an artist and a professional filmmaker, for all you can say about like Mel Gibson personally. Like, he's not gonna be like, yeah, I'll make the Odyssey but better than Christopher Nolan in 2027. What a stupid idea.
It's all ideology first, right? It's why like there was nobody really getting mad at this, because it doesn't matter. Because Christopher Nolan isn't up there being like, I'm trying to make a woke movie for my woke agenda. Like, it doesn't go the other way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood isn't, that's the thing, is like, they just care about making money and making movies. Like, not to say Christopher Nolan doesn't care about art and intent, and not to say artists don't, but ultimately, like, it's show business, baby. Like,
it's not an industry of Boots Rileys. Like, they're not like out there being like, here's my commie propaganda, you know? It's just, they're making movies. They're trying to appeal to a lot of people.
And it's why like this stuff is so flaccid, because it's just like they're over there in their weird little circle on X, acting like what they say gives like matters just even a little bit, you know, for the success of this movie. Or ultimately, like, whether or not the movie bombed or was a hit really just came down to if the movie was good.
It does tend to be the deciding factor.
Yeah.
None of those Disney remakes are bad because of the casting. They're bad because they're bad.
Yeah, and they all made a shit ton of money despite being bad, except for the new one, which is...
I bet it's funny because like they did the Beauty and the Beast remake, which again, like all of those, like, whatever, why are you doing this? If they recast Belle as a non-white person and they made the movie the exact same way, the reaction would be like, this is the worst movie they've ever made. This is like a disgusting like affront to my sensibilities. But
and they'd all have
it
to
was
go
still
see
bad.
a movie that they didn't see initially. They were like, well, we have to see that Little Mermaid. We have to see that Beauty and the Beast now.
Yeah, exactly. Now that I can be mad about it for no reason.
While we're on the subject of Elon, he has a new interview with The Economist. He spoke with Economist editor-in-chief Zanny Minton Beddoes, and this section is about, did Elon's cuts to USAID kill people? We know the answer to that. Let's see how he feels.
Let's see what he thinks.
So you don't buy the idea that anybody, to put it really crudely and simply, any kid in Africa died because of the suddenness with which...
Zero.
I just don't think that's right. I just don't think... I've had people reporting in Africa who...
How many NGOs are there that could step in? Because bear in mind, it happened quickly. And there are literally tens of thousands of NGOs.
Not everyone functions as fast as you do.
Stop it. We'll continue. He's already like not really addressing or confronting the thing he's saying. He's contradicting himself already. So if they're cutting funding didn't result in it resulted in 0 deaths.
But yes, it did, and someone else could have paid
because like you're saying, like, well then, but NGOs could have stepped in to do what? To stop the deaths that didn't happen, or they did. So you're now blaming the NGOs for not stepping in to help. But if they didn't need to do that because nobody got hurt because of your cuts, then why would they need to do that?
He's really going to have to be telling himself 0 deaths for the rest of his life. You know, and I mean, in a world where I highly doubt there'll be consequences for what he did, all we can really hope is the
it eats away
internal
at him,
pain that happens, and he's going to be repeating 0 death. It's going to be his mantra for the rest of his life, right? I want to note her being like, not everybody's as fast as you. I watched this clip earlier. Is that it's still like sandwiched in compliments where I'm just like, there's this weird still like this starting point of like he's a genius.
You have to talk to him like that, otherwise he's gonna call you a woke bug.
You work fast, you break things, and you're such a genius.
And we love it, and we
deliver.
love you for it. Thank you so much for
said,
breaking everything.
That being said, between your always delivering on like, did you killed people? Yeah.
If funding is cut off for antiretrovirals overnight, and it just stops, then people will die when they don't have access to them. And it just
only if they cannot get funding for that. But the Gates Foundation has $50 billion. What about them? What about any one of a number of organizations? What about
well, in lots of these countries, USAID,
Mackenzie, whatever her last name is, used to be Bezos, gave $50 billion. What about that?
But let's be practical. In many of these countries, USAID was the biggest funder. But I don't want to have an
USAID
argument.
was a political organization.
It may also have been that, but it was the biggest funder of healthcare systems. So I'm very
biggest
sure that there was
funder of regime change.
And there may well be benefits from having changed
Also,
the system.
USAID funding was not stopped. It was moved to the State Department.
It was stopped. There were huge numbers of things shut down in Africa that were
there were claims
related.
of this. These claims are false.
Yeah. So he goes back to being like, also no money was cut, by the way. We moved it. What?
I feel like I'm going a little mad because I think we've talked about this before. Because he said something similar before. He's talked about all this stuff. Doge didn't do anything to the Pentagon's budget. They didn't try to like audit them. They didn't look into it at all, despite his whole like, we got to get into there. We got to like the CIA. They're all psyoping you into thinking that vaccines are good or whatever he's thinking today. His claim is that USAID, the helping people part, we got rid of it. And somebody else should have instantly come in to help. And because they didn't, people died, not because of the thing that we did. And so there's that element of it. But it's good to help people, but also we don't want to do suicidal empathy. So we're not going to do the helping people part. And getting rid of the helping people part didn't kill anybody because nobody else jumped in to help. But also USAID is evil and bad and needed to be gutted and gotten rid of because they're the biggest funder of regime change. So we took the regime change
which he
part,
hates, I guess.
which I hate, and put it into the State Department and didn't change anything about it. You're preserving the thing that you're saying is the problem with the organization, so you can go after all the parts that you're claiming didn't hurt anybody, and then absorbing the other part that you don't want to do anything to, but you want to talk about how you hate it so much, and move it into the State Department where it'll have even less scrutiny to do regime change. They're literally in the middle of a war right now, Elon. I don't know if you've heard the news, but we're in the middle of a war right now that's not about regime change, but is also about nuclear weapons, but isn't. We'll get to that in a little bit. It's just so frustrating. Anywhere. It's not going anywhere. This is such a frustrating thing to hear him. Like, he doesn't know what he's just coping with the fact that he killed people.
Yeah, he's gonna just keep zigging and zagging as needed to cope with this, right? On top of, like, remember when he was like, when he said he'd solve world hunger if someone gave him a plan. I think to some extent they think this is like, the Doge stuff was kind of kicking it to private companies. If he really gave a shit, right, he would have stepped in with all his money to replace USAID, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So by your metric, you have enough money to save all of these people, and you're not. So if you're claiming,
because his claim, it seems to be like, well, me gutting all these programs didn't kill anybody. The real murderers are the people who didn't pick up the funding after the fact.
Right.
Which I'm included in. I am included in the group of people who didn't do that. I'm actually the richest person alive.
He just wanted to take a shot at whatever her name is now. I have to take a shot at a woman who dares get divorced.
He resents divorcees.
And a woman who has donated $26 billion, I think it is, over the last 7 years.
Astronomical number.
Like, she's still a billionaire. It's hard. Right. She can't spend.
It's hard to get rid of.
Apparently, it's hard to get rid of that much money. But she has donated $26 billion, which is much more than I can say.
What a stupid fucking idiot.
Also, it didn't work. I mean, not that it matters, but Doge didn't save any money either.
Nope.
So it really is like the level of coping he has to do, the measures he has to take to sleep at night at this point must be extraordinary. Where watching this clip, it's just so like pathetic to see him try so hard to, like, again, it's just him yelling out zero
The laughter is
it's
so
just-
defensive.
Yes.
Yeah, his laughter is defensive, and JD's laughter is just a survival mechanism.
Oh my God. His is, I think he looks back at every clip when he laughs and he's like, "You idiot. Why do you keep laughing like that?"
That's
Like,
the one.
I think it's-
The saving grace is that he watches all these clips. He's like, stupid.
Yeah.
fucking. That is so funny. He does watch all of them. He watches every single thing online. He's scrolling through them during all of his department meetings.
And I get it. He's a podcast host is basically what he is. And so you look it back, you're like, why did I say it that way? Ugh, that's stupid. I came off as this and that.
Yeah.
So all I can hope for is that he berates himself at least as much as we do, if not more.
He's just like us.
He must.
He like all
laugh people-
millennials,
oh.
he invented the phrase trash talk. Is what I'm hearing from him.
Yeah, I'm a millennial, so we call
As
this
we
trash
millennials
talk.
say, trash talk. Get the fuck out of here, you stupid vice president, piece of shit.
I'll tell ya, nothing makes me appreciate really good bedding like a warm summer night. There's just something about sliding under lightweight, breathable sheets, flipping on 1994's It Could Happen to You, and getting a glorious night of rest, regardless of how hot it is outside. And that is why I love Quince. Yes, I'm not ashamed to say it. I love Quince. They use the highest quality materials like 100% European linen and organic cotton with sheets and duvet covers that come in a variety of tasteful styles and colors. You will be so comfortable. You'll probably fall asleep before Nicolas Cage and Bridget Fonda agree to split that fateful lottery ticket that is the inciting incident of the film. Quince works directly with ethical manufacturers and cuts out the middleman, so you get bedding that's up to 80% cheaper than similar brands. And for an easy upgrade, they've got mulberry silk pillowcases and eye masks that keep my hair as smooth as Rosie Perez's devious glances are sharp. Also, starring Wendell Pierce, Stanley Tucci, and Richard Jenkins. Isaac Hayes is the narrator. So make your summer bedding feel better. Go to quince.com/somemore news for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/somemore news for free shipping and 365-day returns. Directed by Andrew Bergman, who previously directed Cage in The Superior Honeymoon in Vegas, which you could also watch while you fall asleep under those glorious Quince sheets. Quince.com/somemore news.
So speaking of Elon Musk, who we've talked about way too much already. I'm so sorry, Katy, if you're listening. He did a little funky stuff with the voting last year or 2 years ago. God. And continues to, and he thinks the voting is illegal or should be or isn't, but it depends on the day. Point is, we're going to talk about more voting stuff, and we've transitioned from Elon and his voting crimes to generally other voting things.
I feel like you could just go and moving on to the next story.
No. So we
Okay.
were just talking about, Elon and voting.
Right.
Well, no, we didn't talk about voting.
Well, we
Elon,
sound like
we
a
have to
the
do
Odyssey.
explaining this.
Another thing that's odd to see is all of these voting bills that they're trying to pass in the House of Representatives. They're desperate to get everyone on board that there's the rampant voter fraud so they can try to get through the SAVE Act provision so that they can try to prevent massive losses in November.
Clock's ticking, folks. Get on it.
Clock is ticking. They're certainly trying. And the first thing is that they got a little boost this week because New Jersey Democratic Governor Mikey Sherrill announced that 6,600 non-citizens were accidentally registered to vote in New Jersey because of a software error through the state's Motor Vehicle Commission. None of these people tried to erroneously or fraudulently register to vote. They checked that they were non-citizens, and the software registered them to vote by accident back in 2023 and 2024 during the previous administration of Democrat Phil Murphy, which fixed the problem but then didn't tell anyone, which doesn't help. But anyway, fewer than 400 of those 6,600 people ultimately voted, and they were told that they could. So it's, it's hard to blame them for this. And the state of New Jersey is trying to keep the federal government from getting the identities of these people because by no fault of their own,
they just voted.
Their status. We don't know. They might have legal status. All we know is that they're non-citizens.
And they all voted for Biden.
So clearly an error, unfortunate, rectified. Very, very small percentage of votes that wouldn't have changed the outcome of any election,
and not a indicator of the sort of voter fraud that the GOP likes to complain about and talk about and say is real and rampant and constantly costing them elections, right? Not a sort of like, oh, there's like an apparatus that's
they're going to take
rigging the elections and all these illegals are coming here specifically so they can get all the kind of stuff.
But here's JD Vance.
Oh, good.
If only there was a way to stop this type of software error, which I guess he doesn't believe that it was an error, that allowed non-citizens to vote in our elections. And then he starts talking about the SAVE Act, which I don't see what's in the SAVE Act that would have prevented this from happening. Again, they didn't go to register or show ID, this would have
if anything,
regardless.
They would happen regardless because also the SAFE Act, you got it you need a driver's license. Well, that's one of the things.
Yes, these people
one of the things
the state's DMV to get driver's licenses, to get ID.
It's part of the thing that they want people to do.
I think we just did that video on false flags and where that distrust comes from, and it's sort of stuff like this where an event happens. And they're like, well, that's it. We got to do this other thing that's completely unrelated to that thing. It didn't matter what this story was going to be. They were going to use it to be like that. And that's why we have to pass the SAVE Act.
And someone who knows better too, like that JD Vance tweet with software error in quotes, he doesn't believe that. He doesn't think that there wasn't actually a software error. He knows better. His whole brand is being like the conspiracy theorist vice president. When he goes on Rogue, he's like, here's a conspiracy theory I actually do kind of believe in. And it's
right.
like whatever, demon shit.
But if he was pinned
but
down...
he doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe this. When he's saying a software error, if you were like, what do you mean by software error? It's like, well, the software error that happened. That happened.
If you said, what do you mean by software, he would laugh, Cody. Here we go.
We do this all the time in our scripts where there will be quotes around something and then we'll say, oh, this isn't an exact quote. We just want you to put a little stink on it when you say it. And that's maybe what JD was trying to do.
I also, it is. I also, this is not important. I resent him. And the way he communicates and is the fact that the vice president's tweet, obviously falsely alleging voter fraud where there is none and feeding into this conspiracy theory where there is not one and implying that there was a software error where there was one. Aside from all that, the fact that he starts the tweet with, if only there was a way to stop this type, I hate this shit. You can't be talking like that, man. You can't be the BuzzFeed vice president. You can't be like, oh, this, another voter fraud. Normal world, you're the vice president. You can't talk like that.
Answers to stupid questions, bullshit.
Stop that. Stop talking like that.
So if that doesn't work to convince everyone that we need to overhaul elections in this country, you know what will? The fact that Olive Garden requires a photo ID, apparently, if you pay for their never-ending pasta pass.
The term never-ending pasta, it feels like a room in hell.
It's it's evil. It's an evil room. It's like,
and nothing against Olive Garden. It's just, it's like whenever I drive by, what is it called? The Old Spaghetti Factory.
Yeah.
And I've yet to go and I want to go, but it's just like, it's a threat. It's just like,
you go into the unlimited pasta room. That's a hot room. That room is unpleasant to be in. And then they keep bringing you pasta.
Yeah. And just large
First bite's good.
Milk
First
to wash
bite's,
it down
oh God.
So the way it works is you pay $100 and then you get, only 10,000 people get this. They can't just give it to everyone.
Oh, of course.
$100 and then you get as much pasta as you want every day, every meal if you want for 3 months. I think it's 13 weeks.
cheap eating.
That is
honestly.
cheap as hell. That is such a good deal.
It's a good deal.
Like,
if you can choke down, I'm
But
sorry.
look.
You can imagine
listen, I
some
love
guy
chain
in his 20s,
restaurants.
some poor guy in his 20s who's like cheap eating, and then it's like month 3, and he's walking in there like, one fettuccine Alfredo, please.
Give me more cream sauce. Give me the...
Yeah, and it's just the scene
Give me
from
that thick
Meaning
sauce.
of Life. Like,
Yeah.
but this, like, the
You
message.
seem to like have a real like thing about Olive Garden specifically. Is that true?
Me? No.
Yeah.
You know why? There is an Olive Garden not too far from where I live, and the drinks, if you want to go to sit at the bar at Olive Garden, you can get a lot of drinks on the cheap. But if you are going for a bowl of pasta, that's like not the thing to go to get.
Yeah.
You go to get breadsticks, cocktails, and salad when there's not a
They have a
diarrhea
soup, they have a good
parasite
soup.
on.
Sure. Oh, sure. Well,
Otherwise-
don't get the diarrhea salad, obviously.
Don't, yeah. They're not implicated, but not right now. I would not get that.
As an Italian myself,
Mm.
I've eaten my fair share of pasta, and I will say, cheap pasta, like if you go to Sbarro and get their baked ziti, delicious. Good pasta, homemade, delicious. Middle pasta, the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted.
Middle
and I
pasta is
don't
really
know
bad.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, the pasta that you get at like a theme park restaurant or say an Olive Garden. There's just
Yeah.
something about it.
It's
that
like
turns
very
my stomach.
overboiled,
Overboiled,
and,
usually.
watery sauce, and you just don't want it.
Yeah.
But anyway, no shame on the people who are using the pasta pass and are being roped into this political quagmire, because the message went out to all of these Republicans who have been saying things like, heck, you even need to present a photo ID to utilize the Olive Garden's never-ending pasta pass. A bunch of them have been messing it up. Like Steve Scalise said, you can't get pasta at Olive Garden without a picture ID. That's not true. You can.
It's just like I love
they're
they're just like strolling through this massive text chain and just be like Olive
like,
Garden
yeah.
pasta ID. Okay, got it. Do the Olive Garden thing. Like they don't
get the
give a
talking
shit at
points, and they just
all.
didn't memorize what the specific thing is.
I do love the idea that you can get anything off the menu except for the pasta needs an ID at Olive Garden.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I would support that.
Senator Bernie Moreno did this as well. He says, it's so ridiculous that we have the Olive Garden require ID for the all-you-can-eat pasta bowl, but we allow people to vote without showing who they are. You can get an all-you-can-eat pasta bowl on its own at Olive Garden, apparently, and that's also not it. It's just for the never-ending pasta pass, but these elitists couldn't get on board with what the thing they're supposed to be mocking is.
It's just because, I mean, mind you, I think like my AMC stubs, they'll sometimes ask for an ID, but sometimes won't. I don't understand why the IDs things happen. With this, I imagine because they're only giving it out for so many people.
It's not on the app or whatever.
It's not a right.
Oh, you mean
You don't
it's not
have
a constitutional
speak for
right?
You don't have
Cody.
a constitutional right to $100 worth of pasta.
Not
for
yet.
3 months.
Not
yet,
yet.
obviously. We all dream of a better world, Dave.
Yeah.
But right now, it's not a right. So like these people need to shut the fuck up.
Every
Like,
other developed country in the world has $100 for a never-ending pasta bowl. You need to be able to get your pasta bowl, but here you can't do it. You can't do it. People are going into debt because they can't get never-ending pasta.
For 40 years, we've been Alfredo. Basil.
Perfect.
Garlic. All right. Look, I would vote for that man. This imaginary person.
Yeah.
Based on nobody
Brooklyn
who's
guy,
saying
some old
some
Brooklyn
awesome
guy who
saying some
likes
awesome
pasta.
things.
It would be amazing if Bernie just started talking about promotions at places.
Like really good deals.
Yeah, I
That's
remember
a-
him
McDonald's, it
saying
used
that
to be
at
Friday
Olive
was
Garden.
Friday. You get a large fries for 99 cents, and now you can't get it.
See,
They
I
used
think
to
if you
do
walked
that.
into any restaurant and did that, they would go like, okay,
We're
here.
doing it.
Stop.
Look, the Steak and Shake started doing beef tallow again. I think that if all it takes is one politician to publicly bully a fast food chain, and they will
Yeah.
cave.
And then this other thing, the House voted on Wednesday on a bill to ban stock trading by lawmakers, which is bipartisan that everyone says they want. But then Republicans sneakily added a voter ID provision to the bill which meant all the Democrats voted against it, which is just what the Republicans wanted, so they can keep doing the stock trading, and they can say that the Democrats voted against
that thing
the
that
ending of the
they
stock
say
trading.
Democrats do because all they have is projection, and then they do it themselves, and then they say, "Look, you hate the thing." Oh, that's expected.
I'm going to sound like a child. Why haven't we done anything about them adding things to bills like this? It feels like my entire life, and then some, it's been a problem. Where it's like
everyone talks about it, everyone weaponizes it.
I'm sure riders
it's
at one point made it, but it's like the filibuster. You don't want to get rid of it because then you can't do it when
someone probably introduced a bill about this and then added some bullshit in there that nobody liked.
And it's probably like a 100-page bill. Like, I'm not reading that.
Hey, everyone. Let me front load this by saying that you can get free stuff. I haven't even looked at what it is yet, but it's free. So let's just look. Oh, okay. Spicy toys or gift cards for toys? What a delightful surprise! Bellesa is a company that's flipping the script on sexual wellness. You've seen their toys in your various feeds and rhythms, like the Ultra Blow. I don't even know what that is, but it sure sounds impressive. Okay, let's just take a look. Okay, boy, howdy. Okay, now that is the most advanced stroker yet, they say, with an elevated motion. However that works. Or the Rose. Oh, boy, you're going to love the Rose. A little flower-shaped toy that's cute and discreet, but delivers 10 different suction modes. I mean, I can only personally think of 6 types of suction tops, so that is intriguing. And of course, we had to hook all of you up. So our friends at Bellesa and us are sending out free toys or gift cards for toys to everyone who signs up. You heard that right, folks. Every single one of you wins something. Just click the link in the episode description or head to bbvibes.com/SMN. That is bbvibes.com/SMN. Usually when you get something free, it's like, I don't know, socks from your cousin or something. But this is way better than that. Spicy toys! You know, we're doing stuff. You know what kind of stuff. bbvibes.com/SMN. You won't regret it.
There's nothing like an action-packed summer blockbuster, right? Car chases, plane fights, train explosions, flesh-eating bacteria, bugs, aliens, freshly oiled leather, and bunches of bananas. Well, Pluto TV has all that heart-pounding glump available for free. Glump like Top Gun Maverick, Transformers Rise of the Beasts, A Very Yakuza Christmas. Is there a Mrs. Magoo? Do the Dog Paddle, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. We hit a tiny submarine in the Silver Lake Reservoir. Crepe Invasion. Escape from the Trader Joe's parking lot. Search for the Lost Islands restaurant. Revenge of the Westwood Chili's. Battle of the Burbank AMC's. Fright Fest at Phil's Coffee, all PHs obviously, between the botulism and Monkfish Blues. Squib, Flob, and Flibble Paste is all on Pluto TV. It's free. Stream now. Pay never.
I do want to reference this incident in Madison, Wisconsin on Wednesday where police murdered a man in the street. There's graphic video of it. We're not going to show it here. You can seek it out. There's 4 cops trying to throw this guy to the ground. Apparently the call was because he was looking into parked cars. The police say he was armed with a knife. I don't see that on the video, but I can't, definitively say no. But then he's thrown to the ground, and one of the cops shoots him several times while he's on the ground, not attacking anyone. So, just another, another incident like this that I wanted to make sure we didn't pass over. We've had some members of our audience who live nearby there reach out about it, who obviously don't want this to get lost in the we all understand cacophonous news cycle. But this is very bad, and the 4 police officers have been put on the administrative leave, but we don't have the identity of the shooter, and
cop vacation.
As far as we know right now, only 24 hours later, they're doing the investigation, and the police seem to be putting forward that it's justified because of a knife.
I mean, even with again, we're not going to show the video. Even with a knife involved, it's just not justified to shoot a person dead. I mean, there are 4 cops. Like he's the person was subdued on the ground. And the video is very, very disturbing.
Nothing that you've described justifies death. A knife. I mean, you could run from a knife easily. It's not
a death sentence. It shouldn't be. I mean, it's just like every time we're like, we have judge, jury, and executioner, and they're separate things, and none of them are cops, right? Like literally none of those jobs.
And we shouldn't have that last one, but like whatever we do,
it's a thing we say. It's cool, like we're trying. Yeah.
If we have these cops walking around with guns, like I'd love for them not to react to a guy with the knife like just any person would, meaning like they just sound like they got scared of the guy with the knife and shot him. And it's like, isn't your job to know how to what's all the training for if not to learn how to deal with this situation in a way that isn't shooting the person, right? Like
it's scared and angry.
There to enforce laws.
It's like
safely.
Yeah, you're there to keep your cool as much as you can. Like maybe like a social worker might be a little more calm in certain situations or something like that.
Well,
and,
especially
wouldn't escalate to a place of violence so much if they didn't have all the guns with them. Sorry, Jonathan. What?
No, I mean he because of the call had been suspected of a crime, but certainly a non-violent crime, and then attempted to flee on a bike, and then the cops gave chase. So there's kind of an escalation right there, and then I believe he may have been hit with a taser before being shot.
That's what it looks like. Yeah,
there's several levels of being subdued already. Here we are again. So wanted to mention that this will keep developing. They are protesting in Madison. Some people stayed out there all night, and we can only hope that the cops in Madison do not choose to escalate this situation as they so often.
That is the choice that they have. That is their choice. They know what they can do if they would like this to escalate and get worse, and maybe some of them do.
War. So, I've got all these Trump clips in here. We're not going to watch them. He's all
doing
over
well?
The place, and it really does seem like the war is about to escalate, perhaps to a place where it hasn't escalated before. There is no sense of negotiation, and the State Department has issued warnings to diplomatic facilities all over the world to exercise excess caution, has warned against people traveling throughout the Middle East. So, this could escalate soon. And the reason is because, he wants the bombing he's doing now, since the collapse of the MOU, to work. And there is just no sign that it will change the situation. So his 2 choices are to finally cave more, I guess, and give them whatever they want, or try to secure the strait through a ground invasion that could take a year or more and cost thousands of American soldiers' lives and all that stuff that would be deeply, deeply unpopular. This is laid out in a Politico story this week where one White House connected anonymous official says it's a politically impossible situation because the war is very unpopular. Escalating the war would be extremely unpopular. Gas prices, all that stuff. But we do have Trump also negotiating a standalone nuclear deal with Saudi Arabia, saying that the Gulf nation could be allowed to build out a nuclear program. But then on Thursday morning, he truthed that the deal doesn't include enrichment. I'm not sure what a nuclear program is
Wait
without
a second.
enrichment.
Okay.
And well, I'll read the exact thing. Actually,
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
want to put words in the president's
I was gonna say
mouth.
also, like, why am I questioning you? Like, you're just reading what the president says. Like, wait, what the fuck, Jonathan? What does
And
that
by
even
the way,
mean?
this is all like technically separate. It had nothing to do with Iran. He's tried to make the argument, or he did a month ago, that like, well, why can't Iran have certain weapons? It doesn't matter.
He just loves nuclear deals.
so-
or not, or I don't know. He does. Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, he posted the civil nuclear deal. There will be no enrichment of material being made between the United States Department of Energy and Saudi Arabia, which pertains only to non-military use, such as the ones that Iran and UAE and others already have, will be approved, but is totally subject to Saudi Arabia joining the very respected and successful Abraham Accords, which would require them to normalize relations with Israel, which is a thing they're not going to
Probably not going to do that.
And they say a deal has already been signed and that a tweet doesn't change. What's the exact quote? Tweets don't overturn signed agreements is what a Saudi
Perfect.
source told Laura Rosen.
They're
So,
correct.
We have
I mean,
this,
technically.
we have this big giant mess. We can only hope it doesn't escalate. I mean, I don't know what to say about it other than please stop. Please don't
make
do
it
this
worse. Don't
more.
make it worse. Don't keep doing it. Don't
He
keep
is-
doing it worse.
By the way, and then I'll stop talking. Already is doing war crimes. The U.S. struck a border crossing between Iran and Iraq, where people were making a annual pilgrimage to Iraq for a big religious gathering, and a border crossing was stuck there, killing at least 2 people and injuring 11 others. And it is unclear what the military or strategic target is here. It appears to just be a strike where they knew people would be.
Well, they're out of schools, maybe, and maybe they just like, no. I mean, this is just a bad military, bad war crime president, and I assume Hegseth is totally cool with this, and they just. It's just so normalized at this point.
It's a real reflecting pool situation where it's like, just don't touch it. Just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone.
No, you're touching it. All right, walk away. God, you're hurting people now. Why are you hurting people with this? Like, has Trump ever had a win? Like, and I don't even just mean like in terms of like war stuff. Like, both terms so far. Like that first term, he wanted to build the wall. That was his big thing. And there was no moment where everybody was like, he did it. For better or for worse, he built that wall. It was just like, it just kind of faded out. And you hear reports about like, he built a little
part
bit
of
wall,
it was
crappy.
built. Mm-hmm.
But now everybody's dying of this COVID. And it just like, it just COVID took over that. And he farted through that and did a terrible job. And then, he's just so he's so, for the lack of a better word, blue-balled, I feel like, about like, he was so mad at Obama, and Obama killed Osama bin Laden. He did
That's
the
a win.
deal. He
Nonpartisan win.
Yeah. And
nobody cared about Soleimani. I didn't get credit. He's always talking about how he doesn't get credit for all the
Right.
good things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, is it feels like he's still just like really looking for it. He can't settle on anything. And he's just going to keep picking at it until he feels like he has some sort of win.
Nobody cares about Maduro, apparently. Like, he's like, I got this guy. I keep getting these guys, and you keep not caring.
They didn't do 9/11. Sorry.
They didn't do 9/11, yeah.
Yeah.
He's incapable of, like, achieving those kinds of wins, but also of accepting them. And, right, because, like, Operation Warp Speed was a win.
Right, but
for
he can't.
the globe, but he can't do it. So even those kinds of things, he can't be like, I did it,
It's very ironic that the only legitimate, like, good accomplishment that he didn't do it, but he's like, go do it. We want the vaccine. We got to get out of this.
He let it happen. Exactly. Yeah.
Please do the thing. And then they did it. And then I won't say Biden got the credit because no one got credit because it became
Right.
this political thing that
Yeah,
went
yeah,
against
yeah.
the thing Trump wanted. So he can't take credit for it. He sometimes brings it up. He's sometimes a little upset that that people don't talk. It should be all that they talk about.
Yeah.
And he picked
Right.
a guy
He
for Health
ruined
and
it,
Human
yeah.
Services who's like, that thing probably killed people, huh?
Yeah, we gotta ban it. We gotta ban that thing that you did, sir.
And getting rid of the penny, though they did it really abruptly without a plan. But I think that's fine.
Like
But
they do. They love doing that. Who cares?
And that's
Yeah,
the
it's
thing
fine.
is, it's all the accomplishments you can do now are boring, right? Like a guy killed a lot of Americans, and then the next president was like, yeah, we sent a bunch of guys in, they just shot him in the head, and everybody was like, yay. And it's like, you can't do that anymore. It's not going to be like a Jack Ryan thing. It's going to be about like healthcare and boring crap, and there's no like
Make people's
enemy
lives
to
better,
get,
yeah.
unless you want to call half of the country the enemy and turn that into some twisted victory.
And then get them, yeah.
It's just it's not working.
It's hard to not see anything he's done in term 2 where he wouldn't have been better off. Not just things would have been better for all of us, but he wouldn't be better off if he had just not done them.
Literally, the ice stuff, probably not. Like, that would still be, like, but, like, everything else, just, like, coast, man. Don't even do, like, ballroom stuff, reflecting pool. Just, like, fuck up the Oval Office. Just fuck that up. There's your little playground. Just fuck up that room. We'll fix the room later. And just, like, yeah, it's...
Honestly, he should have, from the first term, even though he's still not good at it, just been like, I'm going to make some new monuments, and I'm going to do, like, at least then he wouldn't have been hurting everybody,
Right.
But it still sucks.
Still would have
which is
sucked.
funny.
Because even with the penny, like, yeah, got rid of the penny, he's making a Trump coin, though.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like...
Even with ICE, he could have gotten a big appropriations bill. Oh, we're increasing funding and they do some more stuff, but he would have been better off politically without doing all of this stuff. But of course, he hired the guy who's obsessed with this stuff.
Yeah, he
He's
hired
evil.
a Nazi.
Right.
And
He genuinely
stop
doesn't really give a
picking at
shit.
it. Again, he doesn't want he craves this idea of a legacy, and it's like, yeah, I guess you can make a ballroom and put your face in a coin and put your face or name on the Kennedy Center, but you haven't like done anything good that people are going to talk about.
And if you're in the
later.
middle of making, if you're in the middle of doing bad things also, and making people's lives worse and harming people, then that's even worse. Like if it was just that gold coin shit, then you'd be like, oh God, what an annoying time this is. But
without the war and without the tariffs, we'd still be in an AI bubble, I think. But I think like the economy overall, people would feel a lot better about it. He would be at a bunch of people. He'd be at
letting Elon do all the
45%
all the
approval
stuff.
instead of 30 whatever.
Yeah,
But it's
getting
like
getting the unlikable guy to go out with a chainsaw and like kill people and like all the unpleasant stuff he's letting happen around him.
It's this sitcom plot where he keeps trying to like, I'm gonna fix it, and it was never that broken.
Mm-hmm.
And it certainly wasn't broken in the way that he thinks it's broken. And then he's just making it worse and worse.
He breaks it. He moves it over here. It's like turns into like a Dr. Seussian.
Although
diarrhea everywhere. And
now there's diarrhea everywhere.
That doesn't make any sense.
His get-rich-quick schemes have worked, though. He's just like made $1.5 billion on crypto scams.
Wouldn't it be nice if he got us rich? Like he's such a fucking scammer. Be like, and I know he is in a lot of ways, but like, be a scammer for America. Make us some fucking money, man. Like, what are you doing? Like,
I said this before. Like, it would have been great if first day he was like, ladies and gentlemen, I sent a phishing email to China.
Right?
Like, we got all their boats now.
Yeah.
And everybody gets a boat. And it's like, all right, I guess
he's our grip
scamming for us.
But meanwhile, this is the headline we get. The U.S. has collected about $13 billion of Venezuela's oil money. Where is it? We don't know. Can't read the story. It's paywalled, but that sounds...
Well, we can't afford it because all the Venezuela oil money's gone.
It sounds like if we're extorting a country, if we like kidnapped a country's president and then are holding the new leaders of that country kind of hostage in that we'll kill them if they don't do what we say, and then they have to give us a cut of their oil money, like nice country there, shame if something were to happen to it, then they give him the money.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want that. That feels like dirty money. I don't want that money. But where's the money?
Someone should have the money. Even if it's him, and he's like, yeah, I'm taking the money and not giving it back. Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know that you're doing that. Like, yeah, we can't change it, but like, I'd like to know.
He has that quote where he was just asked about, you didn't really do all this business stuff in the first term. And he's like, yeah, I didn't. And I got no credit for it. And then I found out nobody cares. He literally says, like, I don't think I'll find it. But he's like, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
And it's
right.
like, no, people care. You just don't care that they care, and not the right people care. Right?
Well, he's the voice
Like,
of the body politic. Like he's the voice of the people. So if he says the people don't care, then that's true.
Yeah.
He can say whatever. It's posted on Truth Social, and the president said it. That's official. Nobody cares about his many crimes.
It's
and
weird,
personal
right?
enrichment.
Like, can't just like a cop arrest him? Probably not. Just one grizzled detective with like a corkboard of things. Just
nothing,
like, yeah,
nothing
you
left to lose.
You did
Just
a bunch
like,
of crimes.
we gotta
You're
take down
under
the
arrest.
president.
I found it. This is from the January interview that the New York Times did with Trump. And the question is, and so why now are you doing the deals? His answer, because I found out that nobody cared. I'm allowed to. Okay.
Bro. Dude. Oh my god.
I found out. He's being honest sometimes. I found out nobody gives a shit.
Oh my god. Oh, that's like, that really cuts deep. that's the core of it right there. Oh my god. Terrible.
It's wild that he can somehow be the biggest liar and most honest president. Depending on the sentence.
He's so overwhelmingly honest about what a lying scumbag he is. Like, those are the moments. And I'm sorry, real quick, speaking of Trump's enrichment, does he think that you only enrich uranium to get the nuclear device, or he doesn't think that enrichment is for energy?
Yeah,
is that what he thinks?
It's unclear, because you do, as is my understanding, have to enrich it to do any power plant, anything.
There's a threshold. There's a percentage threshold, which is what we were concerned about.
He must mean weapons. Whatever that percentage is.
He's just speaking.
But he didn't say that
poorly. Okay.
He said they can have a nuclear program, just no enrichment. Okay, man. The understander of things. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Gone are the days when our Secretary of Energy was Rick Perry and he knew all the things to do.
There's nothing that'll come out of Trump's mouth at this point that I'm going to take. There's just nothing that I'm going to take as fact or like serious. Like, I don't bother listening to the things he says at this point. I can't imagine having, working for CNN and having to like go through all his Truth Social posts and having to like, interpret them and write something about them.
Yeah. And then write the headline as what you think he meant. He did the thing where he was asked about the soldiers who died, and he said all of them said very strongly, we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon, which I don't think is a direct quote.
I don't
from
think
the
they said that.
People who died. Like, there's all this stuff, right?
I don't think they signed up for that specifically, unless he's doing like interviews for these people who are no longer with us, by the way.
The ones he knows are going to die in his war.
Yeah, I don't know if they... I mean, I'd be interested to look at the enlistment numbers after the war started. Like, if a lot of folks were like, I gotta sign up because we need to get rid of the nuclear weapons, or we need to do the regime change, or we need to... Like, maybe are there people who signed up who are like, we gotta reopen the Strait of Hormuz. We gotta get,
We've been at war for 47 years. I've been waiting my whole life to sign up to fight this war that we've been
finally
in.
That we've already,
he doesn't. Again,
and he's
he
just
doesn't
so
have...
disrespectful, like in so many ways. It's crazy.
It's like someone being like, "Grandma would have wanted me to buy a PlayStation with her credit card." You know, like
exactly.
it's like it's like ghoulish in an Always Sunny way.
Yes.
Where it's like, of course they didn't think that, but
No,
again,
they
it's
told
like,
me. Yeah.
he doesn't have his 9/11, right? Where like 9/11 happened and people did sign up and they're like, I want to fight these terrorists. And they're like, great, go to this different country and do this other thing. But you could still say like, yep, they fought because they wanted to stand
fight
up
the
to terror.
terrorists.
You could at least like twist it that way. And it's him being like, they fought because they didn't
They're so
want.
passionate about Iran not having a nuclear weapon.
Oh my
it's all
God.
it's all they think about, or all they thought about. It's he's a real piece of shit.
It's grotesque.
What a fucking piece of garbage.
I do hope they try to get him to do the Olive Garden thing, and he stumbles his way through it because he knows what that is and what
we
they
get like a
serve.
fourth interpretation of it.
Yeah. And then
They don't ask you for your ID at Olive Garden anymore. You can just walk in and get all the pasta you want.
Olive Garden gives him an honorary pass for unlimited pasta, and he creates a hell of his own design.
Mm-hmm. That's like Olive Garden's playing the long game. Like, yes,
Yeah.
sir, pasta every day.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice? You know what? Why don't you just sit here and only eat pasta, sir?
I really think it counts as like assault to offer unlimited pasta to somebody.
exactly.
Yeah.
I if they offered that deal to Trump for free, they should go to prison.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a very, very, very real threat. Secret Service is going to go to the Olive Garden and be like, have you been offering the president free pasta?
You know he can't say no
You
to
can't.
that.
He looks at the prices and is like, someone get these beggars out of here.
Somebody get these beggars out of here.
Trump's just disgusted that anyone would pay like $100 for 3 months of meals. Like, what swill must that be? I would
Yeah,
like
exactly.
if he had to eat he loves McDonald's and stuff, but I feel like if he had to eat Olive Garden like live on camera, he wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, folks, I think we've done it. I think we've talked about many, many things, some less important than others, but we'll see how much of that is included in the episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, review, rate, all the things that you could possibly do. Dave, why don't you tell our listeners and viewers and smellers where they can find you?
Well, I'm the head writer for Some More News.
Oh,
so
that's
I'm
cool.
mostly bumming around here, but I also have a podcast network called Gamefully Unemployed. You can just type it in when you get podcasts. We talk about movies. We talked about the Odyssey. It's me and Tom Ryman. We have a bunch of shows. We have a full show where we talk about the X-Files. We have one about Supernatural. We have a Patreon you can check out. And yeah, that's it. But who's this
Heck yeah.
David fella? I'm Katy Stoll.
I love your movie podcast network, Katy. We'll be sure to check that out. Thank you for once again being here like you always are. This is a weird way for me to end the show, actually. Why am I talking like this? So yeah, Katy, you do the thing.
Classic Katy catchphrase. Keep watching the skies.
Skies.